Hello and welcome to Hey, I Loved That Movie, the podcast where we rewatch the films we loved when we were younger to see if they still hold up. I'm Dan.
I'm Michael.
And I'm Helena.
And for this episode we watched Antz with a Z.
Antz. Sorry, Antz.
Antz.
Antz. Antz. Yeah.
We had to.
Yeah.
We did A Bug's Life, and
Yeah,
it's
we did
only
A Bug's
fair. I
Life.
think it's like a
It's
legal requirement.
The same film.
Exactly.
But
Well,
it's
one's wildly better.
so much worse.
Yeah.
No, I'd say Bug's Life is a lot worse.
Nope.
How?
I'd say,
Ha.
right.
At least Bug's Life had colour.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this
no,
film is
and-
like is this a like mid
And this film
2000s Xbox game?
And this film has actual character development in it. This film has an actual story.
Yeah, it's got character development if you
I
can tell
know.
the difference
Yeah,
between
it's
all
also-
the characters
it's
that look
also-
the same.
Mikey, it's also got genocide
Yeah. So
and
does
torture.
Sorry, so does A Bug's Life.
What's the Oh.
Well, yeah. What did you think Hopper was going to
This
do
just
to the
shows
ants?
it a bit more graphically.
Yeah, I think that like Antz is not. It's like the edgy older
Yes,
brother.
it was
to-
aimed at like teenagers. It wasn't aimed at the same audience. Did you guys go into it being like, well, it's clearly for the same audience as Bug's Life?
Yep, I'd forgotten everything about this
No.
film apart from that there are ants in it, and I don't think that's memory. I think that's just
No,
the title.
They
Yeah,
were aimed
exactly.
at two different audiences.
I don't think I'd ever actually seen this, but well, I'd seen a little bit of the end because I remember them making a big tower when they're standing in water, and that's
Yeah.
literally the only memory I had.
Yeah.
I remembered the ball, and I remember like at the start where they make the ball, and then I remember the ladder at the end, and absolutely nothing in between.
You didn't remember Ant Ship Troopers?
It
That
is,
whole
it's
scene.
basically Starship Troopers, but ants.
That scene is. That
Yeah.
scene is very
It's just
Starship Troopers.
a horrific war.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
we should
it's-
explain this film.
It's about ants.
It's about ants.
And it's about an
Um,
ant called Zed, so I guess
Z.
it could be called Ant Z as well.
Yeah.
Sorry,
makes
Z,
sense.
yes, because this is
They
these
make
are
it.
American ants. And you know they're American this time because unlike A Bug's Life, it decides to give you full Earth setting.
Yeah.
And it's Central Park, which
Yeah.
is just not relevant at all.
I mean, it's better than being on a place called Ant Island,
Is it?
devoid of anything.
But why would the ants know it's Central Park?
They
don't
don't,
know,
but
they
they
just
do
do.
know it's their island, and that's why they named it.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, an ant is going to name like an island. What are they going to call it? Oh.
But why does everyone else refer to it as Ant Island?
Because
Where
there's
the
loads of ants there.
Yeah.
So there are also grasshoppers that live there.
No, they fly in, don't they?
No, I'm pretty sure they're also on
Yeah,
that place.
They live under that sombrero.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Doesn't make any sense.
But
Still
the
feel like-
the ants are the most populous.
Yeah. And in
Well, it's like we're
in
the
Central
remember,
Park.
like we're the English, and then they have it's called England.
Yeah. And they're in
Ants
Central
and
Park.
Ireland.
So they might this film has people in it. They could have overheard someone calling it Central Park.
I mean, to call them people is generous, and this is DreamWorks,
Yeah.
Yeah, you see a
I
foot
mean-
and a leg. So.
What?
and they
That
are
was-
still horrifically animated.
Yes. How do you think ants interact with the world? That's all they see. All they see is feet and hands.
Yeah.
They don't see anything more. Look.
So straight up from the start, I'm going to say 1 point to Bug's Life.
We're not comparing them like that.
So point to Bug's Life for the fact that ants look terrible. They are so ugly.
They try
Yeah.
too hard to make them look like actual ants,
Oh.
but to the point where,
Oh,
like, I
so
couldn't
they're
tell
not-
what character was what half the time.
That's your fault. I was fine knowing who was who.
Maybe I just didn't care.
Yeah, maybe you just weren't. But that's not the film's fault.
It is. It didn't make me care.
In terms of like
A
design,
film starting with an actual paedophile talking about him being in, like in his little ant therapy, maybe did kind of start it off on the
Yeah.
wrong foot.
Yeah, I mean, this film has Woody Allen in it, and that's awful.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Unfortunately, he is the main character and doesn't shut the fuck up.
yeah, the main characters tend to do that.
Yeah. It's just worse when it's someone that you can't stand.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I don't. So yeah, Ant, the main ant, he's a worker ant. This film, I like this film because it was Marxism. This film did actual social commentary on like child-friendly social commentary, and I think it did it better than Bug's Life.
It had a social commentary, but I just found it so bland.
I would say it's less nuanced than A Bug's Life.
A Bug's Life isn't at all nuanced.
Yeah, but this is like in your face.
So is A Bug's Life. It just didn't do it right. Like Bug's Life is really in your face about it, in about the same way. This actually.
This is just civil war, and
yeah.
The
enemy in the enemy in this film is the military-industrial complex of the ant world.
Yeah, it's a hostile military takeover trying to kill off the workers.
Yes.
So they can become a military state.
Yes.
But the military don't realise that actually they need the workers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right? It's great. I loved it. It was really weird. It was really weird to watch as a kid's film and be like, this is like an actual thing. This is like a story.
Yeah, I was definitely like way too young when I first watched this, because I'm pretty sure this came out. We talked about this last time. We came out.
Yeah, we came out.
The film.
Well, I came out at 26. When did you? Dan, we know you didn't yet. So yeah, this film came out at the same time as A Bug's Life.
So I'm pretty sure my parents were just like, well, another bug film, I guess. She liked the first one.
A second darker bug film has appeared.
Well, that's just you're assuming that like parents vet the films that their kids watch, and I think.
Be fair, going into Antz, you wouldn't go, this is about a hostile takeover to create a militaristic.
And like the trailer is like, oh, look
state.
at all the worker ants dancing and doing a line dance together because they're so unimaginative.
Yeah.
Wait, is this the same as the Lego movie?
Partially. I mean, it's not as like clear cut as a anti-establishment film.
It's a lot more anti-establishment.
But Dan, I'm so upset.
Yeah, me too. There's so many dumb ant puns to make in this.
Well, no, don't.
No.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll wait till the end.
So Z is an ant.
He's a free thinker.
Yeah, he's a different kind of ant. He was born different. He doesn't see the worth in like digging for no reason. Because people are born, because it's very flat. People are born either builders or soldiers, and again, love the idea that writers sat down and like looked at how ant colonies function and went,
Yeah,
it's just a queue of ant larvae, isn't it? And pupae. I guess they're kind of a little bit more wriggly, ant shaped.
Yeah,
and they're like. Well, some of them are like worker and some of them are like soldier, and they just need to get a pickaxe or a helmet.
Yeah, and then
it very much reminded me of Boss Baby.
Yes,
there's also some female ones, and it's like they're just gonna have more ants. They're the three genders of this movie.
No, that's not how that works, Dan. There's only one ant that has children, and it's the queen.
Yep.
At least, actually, no. In this film, like the female ants are just like every other ant.
Yeah, there is a couple of female.
There's a weird prostitute joke where they're like, yeah, those are the working girls, but we call them something else.
Well, they are technically, like, they are worker ants.
Yeah.
Like, that's a pretty solid joke. That's a solid, like, adult in there kind of joke. That's a pretty, because they're not, like, they don't look down on them for it. They're just like, oh, yeah, they're the working ants. It's not really a prostitute joke, because they don't make any jokes about them like that.
They literally make a joke where they're like they're those are the working girls, but we have to call them the construction ladies.
Because they're worker ants. They don't say anything about them like taking money or anything.
No, they just call the joke is that they call them working girls.
Yeah, but it's not like a joke on them being prostitutes. It's just a gag.
It's
yeah.
And you can tell by how much we've had to sort of talk about it and explain it how funny it was.
Are you aware of this podcast? Well, it's not a funny joke. Do you know what we do?
This film put me in a bad mood. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
I had therapy today. I came home and I was like, oh, I'm going to watch another like heartfelt ant-related story. And instead it's Fucking Animal Farm. But hey, what if instead of interesting animals, we just had ants?
We had
And
ants.
they're all
What
the
if it
same.
was all ants and they all look the same, except some are beefcake ants and some are little ants?
Some are soldier ants, some are worker ants. The worker ants don't want to be worker ants, and the soldier
And the
ants.
soldier ants die, so
Yeah.
they're not keen on it either.
Soldier ants. Well, no, the soldier ants don't really care. Like the soldier ants.
Well, they're sort of brainwashed, aren't
Yeah.
they? It's a bit Brave New World as well, where it's like the worker ants don't want to be are grateful that they've not got the responsibility and threat to life that the soldiers have, and the soldiers are grateful that they don't have to do the meaningless,
Yeah.
boring task of the worker ants.
Thinking about this, I don't think the whole thing of like the guy that moved over to away from Pixar.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like had stolen this film and stolen Bug's Life and like remade it. Thinking about it, I don't think that happened. I believe him when he says that didn't happen, because I think they sat down, read about how ants work. Like someone heard how ants work and they went, oh, there's social commentary in that. Let's make a film about it, because it is baby's first. Well, baby's first Marxism is what it is.
Yeah, yeah.
Baby's first Indo, because they literally say
Well, no, I'd say Bug's Life is baby's first social commentary.
They were made at the same time.
But this one's
this is
not
more-
for babies. This is for
True.
This is for
but-
teenagers.
allegedly for teenagers.
This is your small soldiers audience.
Yeah. But it's that like it's someone that went, we can just put, because
You're young enough to enjoy an animated film, but old enough to learn about genocide
Yeah. But yeah, they just kind of put
and torture. I just want to say there is also torture
Yes.
in this.
Yes.
Yeah,
And
by ants
kidnapping.
and by humans.
Yeah, yeah. I didn't like that just because I'm like, that's going to have given some dumbass kid the idea to go and do that didn't know about that before.
Yeah, they're like, oh, I
Yeah.
can magnifying glass ants and they'll set fire. Funny.
Oh,
Like,
but
no.
they feel emotionally connected to the ants, so they wouldn't want to do that.
I find it difficult to feel emotionally connected to any of these ants.
Yeah, the emotional connection I made with these ants makes me actually more likely to want to kill them with a magnifying glass.
That's messed up. You need to think about that.
They're so ugly. And I absolutely hate the 4 legs walking, 2 legs as arms thing.
Yeah. I
Like, just
that.
have the middle legs dangle.
Oh, that's so much worse. That's so much worse. That's horrible.
Well,
But
4
this
sets
full-
of arms, it's
awful.
funny.
But you don't want to have all. That's too much of an advantage
Hmm.
to have 4 arms. They'd
It's too
never
much
have mixed that
animating.
war. Yeah, that is too much animating. But yeah, no. So
Speaking of, another point to Bug's Life, much
Okay,
prettier.
fine. See, I didn't
Better
like
animation.
I don't like that. I prefer this. Of course, it's better animated. It's Pixar, like made up of the people from Blue Sky. Of course, it's better animated.
Yeah, like, at least with Bug's Life, it's like kind of colourful and,
Yeah.
tries to have nice, vibrant
Not
characters.
brown.
This one's like, they have to look like real ants. You know what I said in A Bug's Life where I was like, this would be fucking ugly if they tried to make it now because they'd try and make them look real? That's what ants did.
See, I liked that.
Thing is, when you're outside, it was like, oh, this is really vibrant. And they're like on that picnic and it's like, oh, this is quite pretty. And then it's like, well, nope, back underground.
Yeah, I liked it. I preferred this look to Bug's Life, but I also didn't really watch much like cartoons as a kid. So
I'm too busy
Did-
watching Alien.
yeah.
Did you
Yeah.
watch this one a lot as a kid then?
No, I watched this about the same amount as I watched Bug's Life.
Oh, fair.
I just much prefer this. I prefer the way it's made and the story. I
But
found-
where are the lovely goofball characters?
You don't need goofball characters. Actually,
Yes, you...
they are specifically in Insectopia. No, I like this. I liked a weird war movie as an ant.
I would feel if I hadn't been also playing Zelda at the same time, I'd have really felt like I wasted my afternoon.
Yeah.
But the saving grace was that I was doing something else at the same time.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm also glad that this was only an hour and 20 minutes, and even that was long.
It really drags at the end. Well, not at the end actually. The middle drags. The sort of weird bit between him being a war hero and like the whole kidnapping the princess thing just made no sense.
Yeah, when he's escaping, and it's like, oh no, I'm in a little bit of water, and I'm out, and I'm going to go across a pond, and the only bit that I enjoyed was when like the princess is stuck to the bottom of the shoe, and he's like climbing up the shoelace and stuff and traveling that way to try and get to her. That was the only scene that I was like, oh, this is fun.
Yeah, apart from also, yeah, the idea of being stuck in chewing gum is gross.
Yeah, that would be awful.
The screaming in that scene was shockingly intense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, the audio in this film is strange. It's really real, and the actors are putting in a lot more effort.
Well, I
than,
mean,
like-
for
like-
apart from obviously we've mentioned Woody Allen, but I mean the rest of the cast, like, what the fuck is Sylvester Stallone doing in this film?
He wanted to be in kids' films. This was post.
And Jennifer Lopez.
Yeah. She was in a lot of films. in
And
this
Christopher
film.
Walken.
Yep. Christopher Walken doing his, like, calm Christopher Walken.
Yeah.
Doing his, like, not Christopher Walken, not cartoony Christopher Walken.
Yeah.
Him doing his serious. I do like that they told all the actors to be incredibly serious.
Well, it's almost like they could have just not bothered telling them that they're ants.
Yeah.
They don't see the animation comes later. Just tell them it's a serious war
They might
film
have.
for children.
They might have. It would have been hard to give them the script and be like, they're not ants. But it says here specifically that I call them an ant. Yeah. And about a colony underground. Look. It's a weird sci-fi movie. But yeah, so we have Z, the princess, General Mandible,
Oh yeah.
great name, his second-hand man, who is Christopher Walken, playing creepy Christopher Walken.
Yep.
Z's soldier mate.
Yeah, played by Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah, Weaver.
Played by Sylvester Stallone for some reason.
Who, to be fair, does look quite a lot like Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah, they did the whole, like, we'll make the characters look a bit like the actors.
Yeah, they had the cast of the Expendables be the soldier ants.
Yeah.
I mean, I disagree in that Sylvester Stallone's ant is the only one that looks like them.
No, I think they all kind of look like, they all are designed to look a bit like them.
If you say so.
Yeah. So at one point, like, it's like the strangest part of the entire film is the Starship Troopers bit, where they are told to go and
So, shall we go through the plot for the lucky few that haven't seen Antz?
Yeah.
Because it starts with Z. He desperately wants to be something else, something different. He doesn't want to be confined to the monotony of being a worker ant. And to be fair, he sought psychological help, which is good. You know,
yeah,
it's a good
because
first
he's
step.
standing out as an ant, and they don't want the other ants to think. They want them to just be worker ants.
Yeah.
And it's not even the queen that's like that. Like, the queen is also is doing the whole everyone has their place and everyone needs to be in their place. That's
Yeah,
it.
so the princess also has the and you're going to churn out kids.
Yeah.
That is your role.
Which-
Thing.
It's interesting that they were like, the queen isn't the evil one in this situation. The person at the top theoretically isn't
Yeah.
the one that's like, but I'm different. Even she's like, no, I need to shit out kids every 30 seconds. But yeah, he says that he's like, he wants to be different. He wants to stand out. So he goes to the bar with everyone, and the princess goes there as well because she wants a night off from being a princess.
Yeah, she's proper Aladining it.
And she does that by taking off her crown.
Yeah, because then all the
Well,
ants
yeah,
look the same.
because they are. And like, it's not racist. All ants do look the same.
But yeah, they dance. He dances a bit different. She's like, oh, she kind of falls in love for a second. And
Yeah,
then-
well, yeah, almost. It's more like she's just flirting with him and
Yeah.
she's having a nice time, whereas he's absolutely schmitten.
yes, yeah,
like a guy at any bar
yeah,
where the
Yeah, it's like,
waitress
oh
is
my god, a
bit
girl
nice.
has. Because he's like, it's very stereotypical. It was like, I hate dancing. I'm never going to dance. And then she's like, comes up and she's like, would you like to dance? And he's like,
Uh-huh, yeah,
fuck yeah, absolutely.
yeah. And then they find out that the soldiers get to meet the royal family, the royals.
Yeah.
So he asks,
She
us,
like,
"What
she
is
like
this?"
says like, you're never going to see me again.
yeah,
And he's like, oh,
who are you?
yeah, they work out who. Like, he tells her he's a worker ant. She's like, I'm the princess, and then he doesn't see her again. Well, he's not going to see her again.
Yeah, and then he finds out she's a princess. He goes off. They swap
We have
places.
the weird
him and
"I'm
his-
now in love and thus my mood is 1,000% better"
Yeah,
montage.
his him and the soldier swap places because he wants to go he wants to go meet the royal family, and the soldiers get to do that, and the soldier wants a day off.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
he's happy to switch. Yeah, because he's just like
He's just
again, like how hard can mucking around like with some dirt be?
Yeah, it turns out the soldiers are being sent to war to kill off
Termites.
the termites, which the General Mandible is saying that they are planning an invasion, which is why they have to build the tunnel to the surface.
Yeah.
And he expects them all to die whilst they're there, because when they get there, the termites are like so tall, and they spit acid from their heads, and it's just that scene. It's literally that scene out of Starship Troopers when they get to the planet. For
it was
first
horrifying.
Time.
It was like I was like, how far is this going to go? And I'm like, oh, okay, full war trauma.
Yeah, I'm surprised we didn't see actual horrific, like blood or anything. Like,
well, no, because it's at least got to pretend to be a kids' film.
Yeah,
but when I say I think it's the same as that, I think it's a shot-for-shot remake of that scene from Starship Troopers when they first get, because it's so similar.
Yeah,
and it's horrifying, and I loved it. It was great. But Z gets knocked under like a rock and just kind of gets stuck for the entire fight.
Yeah, he's maybe unconscious, and he misses the massacre, so he's the only survivor.
Which
is good because obviously it's horrific.
Yep.
And that it's not enough that he's he's been part of this horrific assault where he's been essentially cannon fodder. The one soldier friend he made gets beheaded.
Yep.
And he has to watch him die.
Fine bird. Yep.
And you think, oh, Helena must be exaggerating. No,
that's what happens.
That's what happens.
Yeah. The guy is full on decapitated.
Yeah.
And his head is still alive for a bit, so.
Yeah.
And it's Danny Glover, just to make it even more serious sounding.
Yeah, no, it's intense.
And meanwhile, while all this is happening, Sylvester Stallone is just showing off in the tunnels because he can mine too well, and the female worker ant's like, "Hey, you're showing us all up."
Yeah. And then it shows you like how like weirdly totalitarian this place is, because the supervisor, who is also a worker ant, is like, no rations for you today because you were talking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like it's intense being down there in the thing.
Yeah, it's not easy going. It is actually really hard, boring work, and there's that threat of the fact that they can just take away your food.
Yeah. Shows
that there's not a lot of freedom going on.
And it's also important that like the supervisor isn't a soldier ant or isn't like bigger and stronger than them. No. Just another worker ant.
Yeah, just someone put in charge with a minute amount of power.
Yeah, he's just been indoctrinated into
and
thinking
given orders.
Yeah.
He follows the propaganda of it's all better for the hive, for the mound.
For the colony.
That's it. For the colony. I went through like every form of insect before I got for the flock, for the.
Yeah, we're not doing B movie, are we?
At some point we have to.
God, B movie, but it's this story. B
movie, but it's about a bee uprising.
Yeah.
Well, isn't that what happens in B movie?
Kind of, but not as like directly as this.
Yeah, it's an anti-human because.
Yeah.
Anyway. I don't want to speculate on B movie because it's upsetting anyway.
Yeah, the concept is upsetting.
But yeah, so we watched Danny Glover die, and then he comes back and is celebrated as a war hero.
Yeah, because he's the only survivor.
Rather than it being like a tragedy, they try and play it off as like a noble victory.
Yes,
well, no, like it's not a victory because all the termites get taken out, but so do all the ants.
Yeah. No one was meant to come back. Part of the plan was no one came back. So the general had to like make a show of he made it, but he can't talk to anyone.
One scene that did make me actually laugh was when he's like, Z is like, well, how much like the people aren't going to care about like one ant coming home, and like he opens the doors and it's like this big parade, like welcome home parade. Yeah. And then there's some of the ants are holding a sign that says "Welcome back to troops,"
Yep.
But they've crossed out the Z at the end.
Yeah. Ants in this world are sick, and they replace every S with a Z.
Yeah.
Because they're all sick. They're all sick as fuck. That's it. I also no ant was meant to come back because when they got there they realized that they weren't defending, they were attacking.
Yeah.
They were like actually invading the termites' home, which kind of goes over Z's head. He doesn't really know.
He really doesn't. Yeah, because he's not
a soldier.
As much as he wants to be free, he's not actually much of a critical thinker.
No.
And he's not particularly aware, and he's not a soldier. He's not got any clue what's happening. He wanted to go to basically a tea party.
Yeah,
not
he wanted
war.
To just...
Yeah, he thought it was just meet the princess and then go back to normal, not go and see everyone die horrifically.
Pro of being the only survivor of a gruesome battle against termites is you do actually then get a royal visit.
Yeah. And then we meet the queen kind of just goes, "Oh, great," and he's like, "Oh, it was awful, it was terrible," but he isn't like he has PTSD or anything. He's just like, "It was terrible. I'm a hero, though."
Yeah, he weirdly leans into it, which is kind of gross.
Yeah, he's like, "Oh, I get to meet the princess now."
Yeah.
So
he's definitely thinking with his dick.
He's a gross person. Well, he wants to be noticed in the beginning. That's the whole point. He wants to be seen as being different, and he's finally he's actually being celebrated for it.
Yeah.
But then the princess goes, "I recognize you. You were a worker ant."
Yeah.
And impersonating a soldier ant is death, punishable by death.
Yeah.
Which is mentioned earlier on. So when the general finds out, he actually is just like, "Oh, you're dead. I'm gonna kill you." Even though he is a war hero, it's kind of like, I guess being a war hero is less important than pretending to be a soldier in this world. I guess because it changes how being an ant functions.
Yeah, and also you can't just pretend to be a soldier, go to war, and come back and be like, "Well, I'm a soldier now. I've been to war." Like you, because it's like, well, what if people died saving you because you didn't have a clue what you were doing?
Yeah. But also, you have to be.
But they don't say death penalty. I think when they're talking about it, the ant, his friend, what's he called?
Shazam. His name is Shazam.
Shazam. Weaver is like you can get into trouble for even talking about switching places.
Yeah.
But then he's like, yeah, fuck it, I'll do it anyway.
Because he wants to get his.
But you can see that. So maybe it isn't normally death, but the general's so keen to get rid of his witness for his war crime.
Yeah, he just wants to kill him. And instead, Z and the princess end up getting thrown out of the anthill.
It's why he tries to kidnap them. He always grabs the princess because he's like, "I'm gonna get killed if I'm here."
Yeah.
And then they fall out the trash, and then out of the anthill.
And then some kid with a magnifying glass starts burning all of the.
I like to think that was an
soldiers
adult
going after them.
I don't know why, but I like to think that was a full-grown adult doing that. I think it's the same guy we see later, and I think it's a full-grown adult.
He's just sick of all these bugs on his lawn.
Yeah. In Central Park. Anyway, they run away. They're like, "Oh, we forgot earlier on, some crazy guy is like, there's an amazing place out there called Insectopia."
Yeah.
Where all the insects are great, and it's a wonderful place. Go to the plinth or whatever it is. Go to the tower. But yeah, they run. They get caught in a water droplet.
Yeah.
Because science. Because ants aren't big enough to break the surface tension, so that would happen.
Yeah.
And then they get out, and then they cross the river.
They cross the river. Meanwhile, the ants are having a revolution because they want Z to come back because they've just been talking about how great he is for being a free thinker.
Not just that. No, it's not just that. They're like, "Oh, did you know that soldier ant was actually Z, a worker ant?" And they're like, "You can do that?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can just change.
And then they just.
And then the worker sees the means of production.
Yeah, that's literally one of them says it. One of them is like,
"Oh yeah, no, this film is
so
many
good.
things, but it is not subtle."
It's not subtle, but it's so good. Just one of them going, "Well, but we have the means of production." Yeah, you do, Ant.
And when they're all talking, they're like, "Yeah, Z looked at a soldier ant and he burst into flames."
Yeah,
100%.
I want to know where that came from. How did they know what happened at the service? But that's what happens when you go from work at Ant to soldier, and you get
You get special powers.
you can immolate people.
Yeah, and they think they make it to Insectopia, which is a big picnic, and there's a big Pepsi and a big Mountain Dew.
Yeah.
I suppose they're normal.
Yeah,
snacks,
weird
but
product
that's-
placement.
Yeah.
Gotta pay for it somehow. Gotta pay for these films somehow.
There's some wasps as well, and they're like, how do we get in the shrink wrap?
Yeah,
And the wasps are
they're
like,
weirdly like noble. Like are they like the intelligentsia? Like what do the
I
wasps?
think so.
What do the
Well,
wasps represent in
I
this
think
film?
that-
Because they're very like demeaning
yeah,
and pompous.
I think they're like
They're like,
elite.
oh, crawling insects.
Yeah, I
Darling,
think-
can't you fly?
I think they're like the academic elite, or they're at least like the upper class.
Yeah.
Where they're like they see the work they do as charity, because that's what they do. They're like, oh, I know you have many charity projects.
Yeah.
And then they get killed for it. They get murdered for it because one of them gets squashed.
Yeah, it gets squashed. The other one flies away,
Yeah.
and then
Again, murdered in front of you.
yeah,
Kids film.
Yeah, kids fun.
and then the princess gets stuck on some chewing gum on the bottom of someone's shoe.
Yeah.
Great.
And the screaming is so intense.
She screams loud, and it's like the desperation in her voice when she's like, "Save me!"
Yeah. Because
The
they
kind
got,
of screaming that you expect to end abruptly and never start again.
yeah.
Yeah.
They got actors.
Mm.
They got actors in to do this movie. And then they told them
I mean, they
to,
got Jennifer Lopez.
to be deadly. Well, the screaming was fucking intense.
Yeah, no, she screams good.
And they were, because he was on the other shoe.
Yeah. Yeah,
trying to
he
get away.
climbs along the other shoe and then gets to her, and then he ends up getting stuck next to her, but then they just get scraped off by a penny.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
thrown into the trash.
Yeah.
Guess what the trash is?
It's
Insectopia.
Insectopia, but you only find that out after a brief cut back to Sylvester Stallone being tortured to find where
Yes.
he is.
Yes. And he's into Insectopia, and they're like, that's a lie, that's a fake place. 'Cause
Well,
they're
he's
all
like,
in-
finally, he's like, oh, there's one place he'll have gone. It's Insectopia. And I
Yeah.
think it's I was like, betrayal, but then I'm like, he has been tortured.
He's being tortured, yeah,
Yeah.
that's fine.
He's been
but-
tortured, and he's like, they went to Insectopia, and Insectopia is the bin.
Well, again, all of the people around the general are like, but Insectopia isn't real, and the general's like, actually, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they're all fucking mind washed. And it shows that the general is actually aware that all of this shit is true.
Exactly. He's just hiding it from everyone.
Yeah, because the way the anthill needs to work better that way, and he is so close to being in charge because he's
It's an
marrying
iron
the
curtain.
princess. Yeah, yeah. He's
Instead, it's an iron bin.
well, no, it's an earth curtain.
Curtain.
It's an earth curtain. But yeah, Insectopia is the bin.
Yeah. It's
And
where
you
all the
spend
insects live.
a surprise.
I'm not gonna lie, this is the part where I really started to lose interest.
Oh, you spend no time in Insectopia. Insectopia could have been great.
Yeah,
Insectopia
was-
It was a
it feels like really rushed.
Yeah. They
Well,
finally
they
get
had
there.
to get back to the Marxism.
Yeah, they finally get there, and then Z has to go off to get like some wood or something, and then one of the
But he
flying
needs to-
ants comes in and takes the princess back, and she tells them that Z has been killed.
Yeah, because Insectopia isn't like a bustling city. It's like a bohemian shared accommodation kind of space.
Yeah, it's a bin with a load of bugs in it.
Yeah,
Yeah, new age hippie shit.
yeah.
And then the
it's a
stoner
commune.
bugs that are really like, oh yeah, one time I saw a, it was cool,
Yeah,
dude.
stoner bugs because it
Oh,
was early 2000s. That's more of it just being in early 2000s, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did find it funny
Side
when the princess is trying to sneak away, and the soldier ants like, has anyone seen this ant? And they just all point at her immediately because they're like, we don't care.
Yeah, no, they don't. And yeah, she's like,
But
Z
they're
is
not
dead.
racist though. They can tell ants apart.
Anyone can. You just have to fucking pay attention. So she tells them Z is dead because they're going to kill Z.
Yeah.
And she gets taken back, where she's also kind of. The general reveals his plan.
Yeah.
And he's like, "We're gonna."
But only to his,
And
to
her.
the other military.
She's
Yeah.
also there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's been tied up.
We have
Mhm.
skipped over the quite upsetting scene of Weaver thinking that he's basically killed Z.
Yeah.
Because he agreed to swap places, and if he hadn't, then Z would be alive.
Yep. Emotional
Just wanted to bring
depth.
that bit up. Because, yeah, kids' film.
Kids film. And not quite a kids film.
No.
But yeah, he gets flown. They get taken back. He kind of reveals his plan is just like he wants to restart the colony.
Yeah, he's going to seal
the queen.
Yeah, he's going to seal everyone into the new tunnel, and then they're going to dig under the puddle.
That's why they've been digging.
Yeah.
That's why they've been digging. They're digging to the pond.
Yeah, and he just wants it to be all soldiers all the time.
Yeah, and the queen.
Yeah.
Well, no,
That's
he doesn't
how
want the
to
queen.
restart.
He wants.
He wants
the princess. Yeah, he wants her to be
the princess.
Queen. Yeah.
And they are betrothed at this point.
Yeah, they're that's not really. Well, I guess his plan is long term. He's been sitting on this for a while.
Yeah.
Z gets flown back by a drunk mourning wasp.
Yeah.
By the husband of the wasp that was killed.
Yep.
Kids film. Who is drunk and can barely fly. They make a drunk driving joke. It's strange. But back, he sneaks in.
Yeah, he's telling everyone he's going to the tunnel opening ceremony, and then he rescues the princess and they kiss.
The princess kind of rescues herself.
Yeah, she breaks out.
She's already free by the time he gets there. But yeah, they kiss. They separate out. She's got to. Well, they figure out the plan. She's got to go tell the queen what's happening. He's got to go stop the workers. She tells the queen. And the queen is like, "We need to get everyone out." Obviously, fucking obviously. And he tries to stop the workers, and he is like doing the speech. He's doing the whole "We are the workers. We can do more than them, but you need to stop working right now." This film is weird. It tries to balance like the idea of like group community being like important and teamwork is incredibly important because it's a kids film, but also that like independence and thinking for yourself is another thing.
Yeah.
Great.
And he's like, but it is that sort of weird juxtaposition of him being like, "You, Antz, need to think for yourselves by doing what I'm telling you to do."
Please, yeah. By realizing that I am right.
The like leader of the workers is like, "No, I'm in charge. You're going to keep digging," and then he breaks through and it starts to flood.
Yeah. So the ants all have to work together because they're all panicking. So Z is like, "I got this." Everyone needs to start building ladders.
Yeah.
Everyone needs to become one big tower of ants.
Yeah, they make the sort of very similar to the big ball that they were at the start.
After thousands of ants die, they all start to build a ladder to get out.
But it's none of the main character ants, so it's fine.
No. Well, almost. Because they send the queen and the princess up first. And Z, Aztac, the girl that Weaver's likes, and Weaver are all at the bottom of the tower.
Yeah.
And they're like...
They're supporting it all.
Yeah. And they need more ants at the top, so Weaver takes on all of their stuff and holds up the tower by himself.
These main characters are supporting the ants literally uprising.
Yeah. It's great. And then, you get cut to the surface where the general is like doing the whole, "We don't need the workers. The princess is safe."
It's not Jennifer. Jennifer Lopez is
Aztec, right?
Azteca. Sorry, it's
Azteca.
Sharon Stone is Bala the princess.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's good acting. It's weirdly good acting in this film, voice acting. It's strange. But yeah, the general is like screaming about how they don't need anyone. They don't need the workers. At which point the floor opens and it is the workers trying to escape.
Workers come out, and then they all get out, and then Z and the colonel are...
Well, they get out because Christopher Walken is like, "This is the colony."
Yeah, because he's like the big thing he keeps saying that Mandible keeps saying is like it's for the good of the colony.
Yeah,
and he's like, "But they are the colony."
Yeah, workers' rights.
And he's like, "I'm going to do something that I should have done a long time ago." And it's like, stand up to your maniac of a boss.
Yeah. And so Z and
fascist
him end up falling into the pit, and Z lands in the water, and Colonel Mandible just twats onto a root and dies, and then
splatters
Christopher
in there
Walken,
somewhere.
who honestly I didn't recognise any of the ants like a part including to the voices. I didn't realize that was Christopher Walken, but he rescues.
Well, to be fair, he's not going full Christopher Walken.
No, I couldn't even work out which one was Sylvester Stallone, to be honest, and that should have been obvious.
Yeah.
But yeah, they get out, and
him.
then Z's probably gonna drown, but instead the princess kisses him, and he's alive. And that's the movie.
And they rebuild the colony.
Yeah, and they're like, we're going to have a couple million kids, and it's like, ant jokes.
Yeah, and like it sounds like a really good story about a military takeover, but it was just so fucking bland.
See, I thought it was better. I thought it was really good.
Like, it should be called bland.
Nice.
Yeah. I was so bored watching this film.
It's
not even.
I think it's an unsatisfying ending.
Yeah.
Just because in the back of my mind, I'm still thinking along the Animal Farm sort of terms of like, well, okay, so now it's not. They've still got this hierarchical structure. It's just that the good people are in charge. It's not.
Yeah.
True.
No.
It's not true Marxism at the end.
We don't know how they handled it.
I guess they can't change their biology.
Yeah, we don't know how they handled workers' unions. Because clearly, soldiers are good, if not better, at digging than the worker ants.
But it's like the soldier ants are stronger, so they are needed for defending the colony, whereas the worker ants are a bit... They're not as strong, but they have to do something.
But they are smarter, right? That's the point, is that the worker ants are actually more intelligent. Because the worker ants realise that they need to unionize.
Yeah.
Maybe a minute after this movie ends, though, someone just pours bleach down the anthill.
I mean, it's entirely possible. But you could say that about Bug's Life. Someone could just ruin Bug's Life.
Bug's Life was nearly ruined by, birds, rain.
Yeah.
The rain means that the river around the Bug's Life Island starts flowing again, but then there's too much, and then it floods, and they all die.
Yeah. The ants, and I mean, the anthill, their natural predator is humans in this. It's each other and humans. Yeah, I like this film. I think it's ridiculous. I think it's so funny that someone went, let's make a critique of the military industrial complex, but make it ants.
Yeah, and it really, I think the lack of subtlety, we sound, year 11 English literature class right now, but
no, it's 100%. There is no
it is that unsubtle. It is very much.
They literally say
Baby's Guide to Communism.
Yeah, they literally say we can seize the means of production. We are the powerful ones. That's a line.
Yeah, I know.
It's ridiculous.
And then I guess they realised that actually doing proper Marxism democracy kind of thing at the end would have been too boring. And they're just nah, let's just end it with the happily ever after.
You can't really sum that up in a little ending, can you? You can't really sum up Marxism in a cute little... And then you can't do that.
So it begs the question, why start? If you can't finish...
Well, because it's they end it where they should. I don't think they should have continued doing it.
You don't want ants to democracy.
They don't do that in A Bug's Life either, and that ends in the same way. Where they go we're gonna live better this time, not under the rule of a fascist dictator. And then they don't explain how that works.
Yeah. Ants to abolish the monarchy.
Yeah.
And it's him and his wife fleeing.
Yes, he is now the
And
villain.
it goes full French Revolution.
Oh, I'd love that. I'd love ants going through different periods of political discourse. Complicated political discourse. I want to see every political theory covered by ants.
But it's all ants.
Yeah, I want that. That sounds great. I'd watch every version of Antz. Antz, but capitalism.
Et tu, brute ant.
Great. Perfect. Antz in a failing democracy. Antz in a fascist dictatorship. I'd watch all of it.
Yeah. Sorry, I was about to... Yeah, I'm not going to make that joke.
We can cut it.
Tiananmen
Oh
Square?
my god.
And I thought Hitland was going to be bad.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
You'd
watch it.
Sorry. Yeah.
Because like Antz wouldn't be like, and now we're going to do something child friendly. But no, they wouldn't. They'd
No, it wouldn't be child friendly. It'd be like, no, your child needs to learn.
Yeah, they'll just Starship Troopers it and have this is Starship Troopers in Ant form. That's all this film is.
Oh yeah, fucking hell. We're very close to just seeing some larvae popping out with helmets on at the end to form the new front.
Yeah, I think that's the thing though, is like having no nostalgia for this and having seen better movies do what this film does, that's probably why it's so disappointing to me. Like, I've had fun talking about it, but actually watching the movie, I was just like, it just wasn't fun.
It didn't grip me.
It's not meant to be fun.
No.
This film isn't meant to be fun to watch.
Hot damn me expecting that DreamWorks animated picture to be fun.
Yeah, that DreamWorks movie about some ants.
Look, they were working out their style. Pixar had all the fun. They were like, we're going to be gritty. We're going to be real. We're going to teach the children about
they were like, we've heard that Bug's Life is fun and colourful, so we don't want to be compared to it. Yeah. How about we see how many kids we can make cry?
Yeah. It's also very funny thinking about how the person that made this film and quote unquote stole it, they were having a capitalist off with Steve Jobs about stealing creative ideas. Whilst making this film is very funny to me. Whilst making a nobody owns anything kind of, everyone owns everything kind of film.
Oh yeah, I'm surprised there wasn't a techie ant with a polo neck on.
just put him in the film.
Yeah.
Just put him in the film. I don't think he had that look at that point.
I sort of assumed he'd. I thought he sort of came out in a little turtleneck onesie.
That's true. So this film.
I had no nostalgia for it. I think I very much like the idea of making kids watch this film. I do like the idea of kids playing ants in the playground and being like, "We must seize the means of production," and the teachers being like, "The fuck is going on?
Fuck are they? What?"
And the history teacher's like, we haven't done that yet. Where did they?
And what the art teacher's like, fuck yeah.
Not too sure if they're playing ants or worms.
The art teacher would be like, fuck yeah. Fight out.
Rise up, children.
Rise up. Fight the system, but also get your homework in tomorrow. With they
say it's for the good of the school, but we are the school.
The school can't function without us. Fuck. Would you?
Teachers vote to ban ants.
Ban communism in school. That would make headlines, wouldn't it? School bans communism. So, did you have to it was always the art teacher that was that way, right? That would be like, fuck yeah.
Oh yeah, the art teachers were just they didn't.
No, we had one cool art teacher. He was really nice, but no, my first year art teacher, year 7, she was a miserable old cow.
Yeah.
She was like, today we are going to be doing still life, and it's like, yay, that's exactly the sort of art that year 7s want to do. It's let's all sit around and badly draw fruit.
To be fair, she had to teach art to year 7s. She was probably...
Yeah, but I mean, I had a different teacher in year 8, and I think she retired, and then it was just so much better. The other teachers were like...
Oh, she was on the edge.
Art can be fun. It was just... She was just like, no, you're going to, sit down and do these, just draw fruit.
Artist practices. What's the point in teaching, year 7's art?
It's
that
mad,
way,
isn't it? Because when
still life kind of way. Not the concepts behind art.
Yeah.
No, it's mad because where they're like, no, you have to do it like this. It's like the whole point of art is to express yourself and do things in your own way.
Because there are technical understandings on how to draw. There are technical ways that you need to do things.
Yeah, we in other classes, in other art lessons, we in later years, even in the next year, it would be and this is cubism and this is futurism and this is doctoral, and talking about different movements. And you'd have a go at, either copying something or and now do it in your, pick something that you want to do in this style.
Yeah.
But no, she was just sit down, shut up, draw fruit.
yeah, it's such a hard thing to teach, like year 7's art, because
I remember my
luckily
mum being
most fruit
shocked.
is just circles. So.
fucking doodle. It's about the shading. Most fruit are varying degrees of circles.
Yeah, I'm not wrong.
I mean,
Apple, circle with a bit sticking out of it. Orange
is
circle,
mostly
less
circle.
things sticking out of it. Banana, flat circle.
That's not a circle.
Banana's one of the non-circular ones. I'll give you
Is
that.
the exception that proves the goddamn rule?
All right, bite into
Grapes.
a banana and look directly
Grapefruit.
at it. It's a circle.
Grapes. Okay, yes, but if you cut up fruit into circle shapes, yes, it is all circular.
Well, we didn't say all circular. We said most fruit is circular.
Pineapple,
and most fruit
danger
is
circle.
circular. Pineapple is circular.
Pineapple rings.
Yeah, circular.
Grapes, lots and lots of circles.
Loads of circles. Oblongs.
Raspberries, lots and lots of circles.
Strawberries, fucked up circle.
It's circular. It's like it's mostly circular. Yeah, it's fine.
When I was, my school had an open day. My primary school, not the really posh one, but the semi posh one. That I went to.
I just need to pomegranate's big circle, pomegranate seeds, loads of little circles.
Little circles. But there's an even littler circle inside.
Little circles inside. Yeah. Anyway, go ahead. I had to. That was in my head.
For not all, just to counter your like all art teachers are cool thing.
I didn't say cool. I said weird. They're all like
weird. So this art teacher, his fantastic idea for us for open day, the kids that were sort of stationed, who had like art classes with them, is where like I think prospective students and like could go around and have a look, and like parents would come in and see like, you know, what are their children being taught. We had to do sepia drawings.
That's cool though.
No,
Wait,
it was.
how old
I
were
mean,
you?
what, like 6, 7?
Oh yeah, no,
it was just we have lots of brown pencils.
Yeah, he didn't have any coloured paint for you to use.
Yeah, it was just drawing in a brown, like drawing
shades of
like
brown,
out, shit in a brown pencil.
Yeah,
it was so. My mum was like, "Wow, that was like for children's art, possibly the most uninspired choice."
That does explain your hedgehog.
Hey, no, that hedgehog is fantastic.
He bought a load of. He went on and saw a sale on brown pencils. That's what happened. Because, by the way, it's insane that like art teachers and everything have to buy their own shit most of the time.
I think isn't that more of a US thing than a UK
No, that happens in the UK as well.
Oh dear.
We had some stuff where the teachers were complaining because like they didn't have a high enough budget. It compared to like other parts of the school, so they had to go and buy their own stuff to make sure the kids could do shit.
That's bad. I remember we had to buy our own pads, and like they did sell like an art set.
Yeah.
That a few people bought that had like came with paints and not crayons. They weren't that patronising. That came with like some
the
paints
teachers
and
got to
watercolours,
pick
and
whether you
some
got paints or
coloured
crayons,
pencils and some like charcoal and chalk and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never really thought about it, again because posh.
Mm-hmm.
But because my grandmother was an artist, we just had loads of stuff. She was the sort of person that would buy a new set of oil pastels or whatever, sort of seemingly whenever she fancied it. Which is like, you know what, you do you. But she had a lot, so it was never a case of like, do I need to go and buy art supplies? It was just like, if I rummage around in the cupboard long enough, I will probably find close to what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Yeah, you had to buy I just remember we had to buy our own books, but they weren't expensive. I think it was like £2 for an A4 book.
Yeah.
And it was like decent quality as well.
Yeah, it wasn't just printer paper shoved in.
No, it wasn't just. Yeah, they weren't ripping us off.
Yeah.
It was definitely like at cost. But yeah, that's depressing, isn't it? But yeah, brown.
Brown is such a.
Speaking of brown, Antz.
Yeah, just like this. We could have been drawing a Bug's Life, but instead he drew ants.
He was a big fan of ants. What can he say? Did he talk a lot
Real
about?
ants.
Did he talk a lot about communism?
Ants, 3 circles, and some lines.
Ants are a fruit.
Yeah, that's how that works.
So it works, right?
Yeah.
I'm so glad that my Ugly Bug Ball birthday party was based on a Bug's Life and not ants.
Ants? Oh, yeah. I'd love to turn up as ants.
That's
What,
going to be
fucking
this year's Halloween. Helena's going to be
PTSD
Bugs Life
war-torn
bug.
ant.
You're
Yeah.
just going to wear brown.
Yeah, I'm gonna come as Ant.
I'm an ant.
Yeah.
Oh, what, from A Bug's Life? No.
No,
Ants.
from Antz.
No, I'm an ant. No, from the ground. Oh man.
Almost as
Sad.
upsetting as my thingy from The Hills Have Eyes.
Oh yeah.
What?
Twink from The Hills Have Eyes costume.
Wait, what?
You don't remember?
No.
I went to Dan's Halloween party.
Oh, I may
Yeah,
have not
as-
gone that.
No, it was the one a couple of years. It'll be 2 years ago this year. But yeah,
It'll be 2
you,
years
you
ago,
went
Yeah,
as
I think I went
the
that.
twink from The Hills Have Eyes.
I may have had COVID at that point. I
Possibly.
got COVID once, and it was. Oh no, that was during the heat wave because it was great because
Mm.
I had a. It was freezing, so it was fine. I leveled out. It was odd.
That sounds like you had a fever.
I did no. I had a fever, so I was cold. Like I was shivering, but because it was a heat wave, it leveled out, and I was actually all right.
I don't know, because it sounds very much like the last thing you need to like be well.
I was
is
drinking
to have
a
a
lot.
fever in like 40 degrees.
I was drinking a lot of water. Like I felt. There wasn't much I could do about it.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't a situation where we'd be like, "Well, I need to." I'm putting myself in. No, it was the hottest it's ever been on record.
Yeah, I don't know why I'm sort of like blaming you for this. I'm like, God damn it, have your COVID at a better time of year. That was
Like,
irresponsible.
It wasn't like I had COVID and then went into a sauna. That's
Oh,
horrific.
I remember when
idea.
when I was teaching out in Russia, one of the kids had like a cold,
Yeah.
and the teacher was like, "Oh, let's get them in the sauna
Yeah.
to like get it all out of the system." And I was like, "Let's not make it, airborne, and then have all the other kids also go into the sauna
Yeah.
right at the start of a 3-week course."
In like you mean like in a nice wet humid environment?
Yeah,
Yeah. A
let's
warm-
not have the coughing and spluttering child.
That's that's not.
And
if
they
it
were
was
like,
a sauna, we're gonna clean and we're just gonna get out of them, sure, but I doubt that.
"Oh, this was like a communal. This was like in the
Yeah, no.
pool in like in the like, I guess ski. Yeah, it was a ski resort we were staying in, but it was the
Yeah.
summer, so it was like a mountain biking resort."
I mean, we gotta make money throughout the year.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, like we didn't go mountain biking,
Oh.
but
Imagine
Yeah.
putting Vicks vapor rub in a sauna.
Oh.
Imagine
Ooh.
just dumping a pot of Vicks vapor up in a sauna and just watching everyone struggle.
I'd still
Oh,
have a
well,
better
that-
time than watching Ants.
I want to do that.
I don't think we've told this story on the pod, but when Dan and I went to see A Fault in Our Stars, we bought tissue. Or Dan bought tissues just before we went in because we knew it was going to be a
Oh
tearjerker.
no, I know where this
Dan-
story's going.
Dan bought mentholated tissues.
I didn't know there was a different type of tissue. I just picked up tissues.
So we start like, tearing up, so okay, better get the tissues out, and then it's like, oh my god, my eyes are burning. But I'm in a cinema.
You're just leaving, and everyone's like, "Well, they really got to them
Yeah.
too."
Absolutely traumatized.
Bright red eyes.
Screaming.
Well, it really affected them.
Oh,
Oh,
that's
man.
always stuck with me. That was so funny.
So
'Cause there's just nothing you could do because you couldn't wipe away the tears because the tissues were it was just like this horrible vicious circle.
find like hopefully a bit of the tissue isn't mentholated.
Well, it was
Jeez,
like,
the
Albus.
packet.
It was like the
Yeah.
Albus oil flavour tissues. Flavour's not the right word, but you know
Flavour.
what I mean.
Nah, flavor in case you eat them.
Yeah. Yep, and that is the only known cure for the common cold.
It's eating.
Eating Albus oil tissues.
Yeah. It's weird that they
Wow.
don't tell people that.
No.
Yeah.
They're readily available. It's just weird that they're like, no.
Careful,
Everyone
guys. We're
wants
starting to sound like the Joe Rogan experience here.
What the vaccines aren't real, and the only cure for anything is oil tissues.
Yeah, eat that and also whatever protein shake he's selling that day.
Yeah. And sit in a sauna just full of Vicks vapor. What?
I mean, Albus, if you want to sponsor us, like, I get sick a lot.
100%. Yeah, 100%. I have.
Oh
a
my god,
permanent cold.
my husband did tear gas us the other day. Well, the other day, like months ago. But you know,
deliberately or
no, he ran a bath with and then poured in. I said put a couple of drops of Olbus bath oil in there, and he put in so much. And like, it wasn't a case of he couldn't then get in the bath. Like, we couldn't go in the bathroom.
No, you wouldn't be able. What you did
we
there
had to like
was you
drain
made
the bath and put the extractor pad on.
Do you know
and
what
like
that?
rerun it.
You know what you did there? You made a Vic sauna. Is what you made. Do you reckon
we've gone
you
full
could
circle. So Antz.
Do you reckon you could sneak
Vic saunas are you gonna give this?
Do you reckon
movie
you could sneak Vicks into a sauna if you just like covered your body in it and then just walked in and
just look
see
really
how
slippy?
Just see how long it takes everyone to leave.
I mean, instantly.
I'm really slippy and I smell real fresh.
It's like, you know, when you're at a spa and you have like a mud bath, but it's Vicks.
It's just Vicks. It opens.
I did
your
walk in on a
pores.
lady shaving her legs in the sauna once.
That feels very Russian. I don't know why, but that feels like a Russian.
Oh yeah, it was in
company.
Russia.
Yeah,
because also single-sex
no,
saunas and also nude.
No one in England would do that. No one in England would shave their legs in a sauna. She
didn't. I mean, thankfully, she didn't go this far. But there was a lady. I think it must have been around the same time because I remember just thinking like, this was like a little bit of genuine culture shock, I guess.
Yeah.
It was just this lady just full on shaving her privates in the shower, and like these were like cubicle showers with no doors.
Huh.
So she just had it out. She was just getting all up in there.
Good on her, I guess.
Yeah.
The confidence.
But it's like it's a communal shower.
The confidence, though.
Yeah, I guess it made me very uncomfortable.
Yeah. But I don't know.
Anyway, so I would. Oh man, I really didn't enjoy this.
Yeah,
but I enjoyed. I've enjoyed the discussion, and I did enjoy the very the communist overtones.
Yeah. Yeah. Heavy communist overtones.
So I think I'm going to give this, 4 ostentatious wasps out of 10.
Yeah, that's about right.
Because I know I know where I belong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You identify with the wasps.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I do work in charity. No, I work.
Yeah, but you like actually do work in charity. You don't just like pretend. It's like when rich people say they're farmers. No, you're not. You own land.
Yeah.
No, and they cosplay farmers by wearing tweed. Anyway, Dan.
Yeah, I also really did not enjoy watching this movie. So in terms of talking about the movie, great. But yeah, in terms of genuinely sitting down watching this movie, I'd give this 2 big cans of Pepsi.
I never want to see this film again, but I do kind of want to watch Starship Troopers.
Yeah, like Starship Troopers, or just like watch that and A Bug's Life at the same time.
That's Antz.
Yeah.
That's Antz, boys. That's Antz.
Yeah. But yeah, okay, hang on, no, sorry, it's 1 big can of Pepsi and 1 big can of Mountain Dew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They had to get the sponsorship. Although, is that just sponsorship from one company because they're both owned by the same?
Yeah, probably.
We'll get into that. I think they're both owned by PepsiCo.
Probably.
Which are? Sorry?
Mountain Dew and Pepsi. I mean, Pepsi's obviously owned by PepsiCo.
What?
Surprisingly, Twist owned by Coca-Cola, owned by Walkers.
Yeah. How? So, I just want a quick question for you.
Which one of us?
Both.
Cool.
How old do you think Mountain Dew is?
Very. It's really old.
Yeah, because I mean, if it's
was
in
an accident.
This film, and was it as luminescently green back in the day? Probably more.
It was medicine to start with, wasn't it?
Most soft drinks are. Yeah.
It's 83 years old.
Yeah.
Damn! Don't open that.
1940.
It was made accidentally to begin with. I think it was like they. Oh, I'm trying to remember. I did know that I did watch a thing on this actually. There was like a soda convention that they went to sell it as a soda because it wasn't selling as a medicine or something like that.
Sure.
I think. I don't know. I don't know why I watched a video on the history of Mountain Dew, but I did. I think they added more sugar as well to do that.
Oh, yeah.
It was always luminous green. Although apparently we don't
that's how you
get...
know it's good for you.
Yeah. We don't get the American chemical one. We get like a watered down version over here.
Yeah, isn't it like our bottles are green and then the dew isn't as...
Not as green, yeah.
The dew is like lemonade coloured. It's not like limeade coloured. It's not like...
I was going to say, like, lemonade also means something different in the States.
It does.
I'm talking about Sprite.
Yes. So, hour 10 for Antz. I'm gonna go with like a solid 6 vixed up lads go into a sauna. Like a solid bad time in a sauna with 6 vixed up lads. No, I liked it. I don't know why I liked it. I can't tell you why. I know it's a bad film. I know that. I don't know why I liked it, but I definitely preferred it to... I'm Team Antz.
I mean, fair enough.
I'm definitely fully Team Bugs Life.
Yeah.
So much more like, I think the comic relief really helped in that I think we've named every single joke that happened in the Antz movie.
That was more than that.
Not that many though. Whereas like Bugs Life was genuinely quite funny.
Yeah.
So if you want something upsetting to put into an AI art generator, image generator, then Starship Troopers in the style of Antz movie.
Well, you just get the Antz movie. You get screenshots from that scene in the Antz movie.
I wish that was the case, because these are upsetting to look at.
Nice.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
Well, Dan, take it away.
Yeah, right, I'll end it here. I've been Dan. I forgot what to do there for a second. I was like, do I say something before then? No.
Well, normally you go, well, after that shit show.
Yeah, so speaking of things that aren't funny, I've been Dan.
Well, I don't know if I'm going to put myself in that. Speak for yourself with that one. No, I'm also not funny, and Michael.
I'm hilarious, and I'm Helena.
Well, you can find this podcast on Twitter, I guess, depending on how much longer it's around for.
Maybe Blue Sky.
If we get there, if we're one of your 600.
Maybe Mastodon, depending on which one we want to go to.
Whichever one we go to, yeah. We're still on Instagram, though, and TikTok at Hilton Pod. That's at HILTM Pod.
We might even be on Meta's new fucking threads, whatever they're fucking calling it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we're on Discord. You can come and tell us if you prefer Antz or Bugs Life.
I mean, it's probably a Bugs Life. I'm going to assume most people don't want Marxism.
There's going to be one other person who's like, no, Antz is better.
Fuck yeah.
And then it turns out they're from an ex-USSR country.
But yeah, we also have a Patreon, so you can support the show. What are we doing for the Patreon?
We're gonna fund a workers' uprising.
To seize the means of production.
We are going to seize the means of production, and we're going to start a workers' uprising. Because if there's any time that needs it, it's now.
That's lucky. I thought one of the two of you was going to lock the other two of us into a room and then flood it so you could start the podcast from scratch.
This with better.
So we've got a queen, a worker, and a soldier?
Yeah, I mean, we have like Australian podcast friends. We probably could like theoretically start it again with better people.
Just franchise. Sell the concept.
No, we don't sell it. We just, one of us needs to stay. We just need to get 2 other people.
Okay.
But like, whoever,
well, let us know if you're
whoever
listening, if you're interested.
No, because
I will kill the other
you
two.
won't.
We'll put a poll up on Twitter.
No, because we're going to seize the means of production of this particular podcast.
All right, you can edit this one then.
Climate change wise, Kent is going to flood first, so
yeah.
Sure, but if we've got that much time, I don't think we've got that time. But we're going to seize the means of the production of this particular podcast from you, Helena.
As the person who does the least for the podcast, I am now feeling quite vulnerable.
This is exactly how it works, Helena.
Keep me, please. That'll be good.
This is how Mandible felt.
You guys need to learn your place.
It only
you
works.
can't do this without me.
It only works if we have the facade of not having power here.
Yeah, we can't do this without you, the only person who we've done episodes without.
I was ill, or on honeymoon, or getting married.
Yeah. No,
Yeah,
not
yeah,
at all
no,
your
it's fine.
choice. Well, a little bit your choice. You're the one that decided to get married.
I did. Yeah, that I did think that one over once or twice before I went through with it.
Yeah, that wasn't sprung upon you. You were like, oh, sorry guys, I can't make it next week. I can get married.
That'd be so hard.
We didn't skip like an episode because you got married, because we were also there.
Yeah.
We planned specifically around the marriage. The honeymoon, your fault. We planned around you getting married. We were there.
Yeah.
Well,
You said we weren't
basically-
allowed to do a live show.
He made it very clear that we could.
we need to make a
that.
pact. We're not splitting up.
Oh, we're
It's us
unionising?
three. Yeah, us three, and we'll take on other pods. We're better together, stronger together, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This sounds like something that Mandible would say at the end of the film.
But also, I'm not going to edit any episode or do the graphic design. I mean, you saw my attempt at the graphic design, so it's
All you have to do is seize the means of production of this particular podcast.
okay.
I just
I
thought
don't
we
even
ever
have.
actually-
I don't even have the passwords to the Google Drive where these are all saved.
I think when this episode comes out, we need to just release the original design of the podcast logo.
Yeah. That can be the album art. That can be the art
That was
of this
beautiful.
episode.
Yeah.
So
I've still got that. Hey, I love that movie. First concept
Great.
Yeah.
art.
Perfect.
It's crazy
Well,
how it went from that to this. Like immediately.
I just loved how kind Mikey was, where it was like, I'll tweak it. Completely different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm glad because hell, I mean, you'd have struggled to make it worse.
Oh yeah, you'd be surprised.
When I say you took mine as concept art, it was really
A
the
circle and
concept
the
saved
title.
as a saved as a the title saved as a JPEG.
It was the equivalent of getting a blank DVD and drawing the name of it in Sharpie.
Which we could have done as a special.
Yeah.
Should have done that. That's actually a
Like
much
an old
cooler-
VHS with it like wedding
Yeah.
wedding video crossed out and then like Bugs Life 2.
Okay.
Right, ready for sync?
Kitchen or bathroom?
Um,
That was
kitchen.
a wild laugh. That was a wild laugh.
It was really painful as well.
That was a strange laugh.
Yeah, I couldn't
I'm
actually tell
saying
who
that.
laughed then.
Yeah. Not me. That wasn't.
I mean, that's
me
not
laugh.
Mikey's laugh, but then again, it's not my laugh either.